Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome in. In this one, I wanted to talk a little bit about Travon Walker, the defensive lineman from Georgia, him potentially going number 1 overall to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and how that would impact the New York Jets, of course, sitting at spot number 4 and spot number 10. Okay, now there has been a ton of smoke, a ton of hype surrounding Walker, really since the Combine, right? Where he put up those insane numbers, the 4.51 40, the 35.5-inch vertical, and the 6.83 cone drill. Okay, those numbers are elite for that position, and it seems like as the days go by here, the hype continues to grow, right? Day after day after day, we're seeing Travon Walker almost, I feel like at this point, a lock for the top 3. Okay, now, of course, Travon Walker, he has the size, he has the speed, he has the versatility. I really like him pretty much in any position on the defensive line in a 3-4 system. By the way, the Jaguars are actually implementing a 3-4 for this upcoming season, so, I mean, it does make sense, but here's the thing. Mike Garafolo of the NFL Network reported yesterday that he has heard some chatter that the Jaguars really like Travon Walker, and that Trent Baalke, Jaguars' current GM, former 49ers GM, sees a lot of Aldon Smith in Walker, okay? And we know how dominant of a player Aldon Smith was, right? Especially early in his career, this guy was unbelievable. It was like sack after sack after sack. The guy was crazy, and Baalke, of course, drafted Aldon Smith all those years ago, and he took Aldon over, you know, what was considered at the time safer prospects. He took the boom or bust style of guy, and it worked out, okay? Now, of course, Aldon Smith off the field, that's a different story, but on the field as a football player, Aldon Smith was a beast. Okay, and Peter Schrager of the NFL Network also had an interesting piece where he kind of went through previous 49er drafts and was talking about Trent Baalke's admiration for the big, strong, fast, high ceiling, high upside types of players. Okay, the versatile players that can line up at numerous positions because they're that physically gifted. Schrager also went on to rattle off a list of names, right? Former draft picks, and Eric Armstead was included in that. But the point is, yes, Aiden Hutchinson is still favored to go number 1 overall, but don't rule out Travon Walker. This isn't Trevor Lawrence last year, where we could just pencil it in, you know, a week after the regular season. Lawrence is going number 1. This isn't the case here. Another interesting layer that we can throw on top of this is the fact that Aiden Hutchinson's Vegas odds have actually gone up. They have risen when we're looking at Hutchinson landing in Detroit with the 2nd overall pick. Okay, so I understand it's just Vegas odds here, but it's cool to kind of connect the dots and just add that storyline on top of the Walker hype and Walker speculation. So let's just assume for a second that Walker goes 1st overall. How would that impact the New York Jets? I mean, every single player gets slotted down. Everybody gets pushed down a notch. So if you're a fan of Kayvon Thibodeau, if you're a fan of one of the offensive linemen, if you're a fan of Ahmad Gardner, Kyle Hamilton, one of the wide receivers, the odds of your favorite player outside of Hutchinson and Walker being on the board for the Jets at spot number 4 go way up. Of course, Houston still has to make their pick at 3, but at the end of the day, it's one player. Okay, so the bottom line is the Jets are going to have a multitude of different options. It's not like we're shooting for one guy and we're out of reach and we might have to trade up. No, there are going to be multiple players on the board at spot number 4 that would come in, not only just fit the system, fit the culture, but they would be day 1 upgrades. Okay, so the 4th overall pick, I think it's a great spot to be in. It's an extremely valuable draft asset. Now, you could say if Hutchinson goes 1st overall to Jacksonville and the Lions go Walker at spot number 2, wouldn't the Jets be in the same exact position? And the answer is yes, of course they would, and that would be awesome. But here's my issue. I think if Walker goes 1st overall to Jacksonville, Hutchinson is the pick for the Lions, no questions asked, right? It's going to go 1-2. And then, of course, we have Houston on the clock. I think if the Jaguars go Hutchinson, the Lions are the wild card. We have heard it's tough. We've seen numerous storylines. We have heard numerous rumors surrounding the Lions and multiple prospects. Okay, this is a Lions team with a lot of holes. They have a lot of needs. Okay, they could very well go Kayvon Thibodeau. We know this Lions organization has sent 7 representatives to the Oregon Pro Day to watch KT in person. We know that Thibodeau has met with the Lions. We know that he has a meeting set up with the Lions. Okay, so there is a lot of buzz there. Kyle Hamilton is another guy, fits that defense perfectly, fits it like a glove. To pair him up with Tracy Walker, you can make the argument Kyle Hamilton would be an incredible pick for the Lions at spot number 2. Of course, positional value, but you know, that aside, I don't want to rule it out. Campbell has actually addressed that, saying that he doesn't really care, right? It's not the exact quote, but he doesn't really care about positional value. He wants ball players, and Kyle Hamilton is a ball player. And then, of course, they could go Travon Walker. I think offensive line is definitely off the table. There has been maybe, some speculation, hey, maybe the Lions go quarterback. I doubt it at this point. I just don't. I think it's too much of a reach at spot number 2. And I can't see Holmes pulling the trigger there. Maybe they trade down, but in a trade down situation, somebody's coming up probably for a quarterback. Okay, so it's a win-win for the Jets in that aspect. So I think when I'm looking at everything, if Travon Walker goes first overall to Jacksonville, Hutchinson is probably going to Detroit. I would say 90 to 95% that's going to be the pick, and then Houston's got to make their selection, whoever it's going to be, and then the Jets are in a great spot. If Walker goes second to the Lions, Jets are in a great spot. And by the way, if Walker's on the board for the Jets at spot number 4, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I just don't know if Travon Walker would be the best fit in this Jets style of defense. It all depends on the potential, how Robert Saleh views him as a starting edge rusher, right, in a 4-3. Can he do that? I would say based off of the explosiveness, based off of the physical potential, I don't think it's impossible. I just don't know if it's a seamless fit. I do really like Walker in a 3-4 setup. Jacksonville runs a 3-4, like we talked about earlier. Detroit runs a 3-4. So either way, I feel like the Jets are in a great spot. I just feel like we might be in a little bit of a better spot if Walker is selected before the Jets are on the board, because we would have that extra prospect bumped down. Okay, so let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Are you buying the Travon Walker hype? Are you buying the Travon Walker stock of potentially being the first overall pick, maybe even the second overall pick? Do you think it's a reach? I've talked to a couple buddies. They're like, hey, we didn't see it in college, right? We didn't see the production. Where was it? I mean, we've heard this story, we've seen this movie, we've read this book over and over and over again, where a guy blows the combine out of the water and his stock shoots up, and then they don't really do much at the NFL level. I do think Walker is a little bit different because of the versatility on the defensive line in a 3-4 style of system. I think he moves really well in space. I think he's just a guy, if he lands with a solid defensive staff, he could turn into an absolute monster at the NFL level. We could see those crazy sack numbers, going up against the run. He has the potential, bottom line. So anyway, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, go Jets.